Hi everyone, and welcome to another video. So last time I have cleaned up my pose for my character Mr. Incredible, and you might have noticed that the ZBrush interface is slightly different than usual. I have this new button here and the fonts is slightly different. It's not much, but it's a little bit different, and that's because a couple of days ago, after a long wait, finally ZBrush 4 R8 finally released. So I will do a video covering all the new features as soon as I complete my Mr. Incredible series. So that's also the reason why the colors, the materials that I applied previously are gone, because with this new version they've shuffled around the material. They made some new materials, and so by default my material were a little bit weird, so I just removed everything, put some madcap gray. So the character is almost ready to be rendered. There is only one thing left, and that's the logo that I haven't made it yet. So in this video I'm gonna take care of that, and I'm gonna also show you how I am going to apply on my character. So without further ado, let's get into it and let's go to Photoshop. Okay, so I was lucky enough that I found this nice high-resolution PNG online. This is the logo of the Incredibles, and so for the albedo, for the color, I'm just gonna use this one. No need to create a new one. This is perfect. But if I bring up one of the references from the movie, you can see that inside the logo there is this the material. It's not flat. It has this how to call them? It has these streaks. They're probably reflecting the light a little bit. So it's I believe it's to simulate that this is has been stitched by some machine or something. So an easy way that I can try to recreate this effect is to use Photoshop, and also use and well, I'm gonna show you. So first of all, I'm gonna take my image. I'm gonna make a copy or a duplicate, and what I want to do, I want to separate the different colors. So let's get down here and here. I want to separate the different colors in different layers, so this is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to select my magic wand, and I'm going to set some I don't know, some limit, anti-aliasing, and I'm going to click this. Now I'm going to click on Ctrl J. This is the shortcut to duplicate the selection into a new layer. So here it is, and I'm going to do the same with the yellow. Ctrl J, and I'm going to do the same with white. Ctrl J, and the same with the black. Ctrl J. Okay, so if I hide the main layer, I have the black layer, the white layer, the yellow layer, and the orange layer. So the reason why I split these channels into 4 is because if I go and grab this reference here, you can see that the direction of these streaks, it's different for every color. So the yellow is kind of vertical, the white is horizontal, the black, it looks like it's going in this direction, slightly diagonal. It's almost horizontal, but it's slightly diagonal on this side, and on this side is the opposite. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do this. Probably I'm gonna keep it just horizontal for simplicity. And the orange seems this diagonal here. It might be difficult to see with compression, so basically let's see, create new layer so I can paint over. The orange seems to go in this direction. This orange here seems to go in this direction. Let me make that a little bit bigger. This direction, this direction. The yellow is this direction. The white is this direction. And the black, it's this direction here. Maybe is this direction and this direction, or perhaps it's doing something like this. I don't know. So these streaks here, they are going in all these different directions. So that's why I want to separate my colors. So I'm going to apply different streaks. I'm probably not gonna do exactly all these different directions, especially for the black. We'll see. So the way I'm gonna do this is very simple. So I'm gonna start with the yellow, and I'm gonna convert this into black and white by Control Shift U. This is the shortcut to control to convert an image to black and white. And now I'm gonna go to my filter, and I'm gonna go into my noise and click on Add Noise. And this is what I'm gonna get. I just want like a very big noise, something like this. Now the next thing I'm gonna do, I'm going to control click this layer, and let's see, actually no, let me undo this. I'm going to undo this as well. Let's do something a little bit different. So let me create a big selection like so, and I'm gonna create a white layer on top of this, and I'm gonna redo the noise. Now I'm gonna go to filter, blur, and motion blur, and this seems already good. So 90 degrees angle, I don't want any angle like this for this one, so 90 degrees angle, 20 pixel distance, something like that will do, and click OK. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to my filter, and I have this X normal here. So in a previous video I used X normal to bake my 3D model into textures. So when you install X normal, it also installs a Photoshop plugin, which is pretty nice. And one of these X normal options here, it's this, says height to normals. So if I click this, it's gonna give me a preview, and let's see, let's try the default. I believe these are the default. I'm gonna click on continue, and this is what I get. However, so basically what I've just did, I converted my grayscale image into a normal map. So but it's still kind of noisy, so on top of this I'm gonna redo another pass of blur. So let's go back to motion blur and try like that. Okay. Now I'm gonna control click my yellow layer, and I'm gonna, with my normal map layer selected, I'm gonna create a mask like so, and that's beautiful. Now one more thing that I want to do, I want to add a little bit of bevel to this. So to create the bevel, I am going to duplicate this layer here, holding Control Shift Alt and drag, or you can go here and duplicate the layer from here. And so I'm going to fill this guy with black. Actually, not like this. Let me create another layer below, and I'm gonna merge these two guys, or before I'm gonna, with Control U, I'm gonna make this black and white, and I'm gonna merge it. So I just created basically one layer that has black background, and in white I've got my part of the logo. And now with this black and white, I'm gonna go back to my filter, X normal again, and again I'm gonna go to hide to normal. So I'm gonna click continue, and this is what I get. So as you can see, he created this nice little bevel around my logo. It might be a little bit too sharp, so let me undo that, and I'm gonna go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, and I'm gonna blur it probably about 1, it's probably enough, maybe 2. Click OK. I'm getting too close here to the border, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to right click here, canvas size, I'm gonna click on relative, and I'm gonna add about 100 pixel, not here, I'm gonna add about 50 pixel and 50 pixel, and so I've got myself a little bit more room. And I'm gonna fill this. Alright, so when I now blur it, I don't get that annoying cut there. So now that I've blurred it, go back to filter, I'm gonna go to my X normal, and I'm gonna click on hide to normal and continue. So I got this nice a little bit smoother bevel. Let me check real quick. It might be a little big, so what I'm gonna do, oops, I'm gonna undo that again, and let's go back to blur, let's try with just 1, and now go back again to X normal, and let's do that again. Yeah, that might be a little bit better. And now that I've created this, what I'm gonna do, if I activate my previous layer here, I'm gonna go into my layers blending mode, and I'm gonna set this to overlay. So what overlay is gonna do is basically gonna, if I move this, it's basically, you can still see both layer. So with overlay, I can overlay basically unlimited normal map on top of each other, and they're gonna all look pretty nice. So so this is done. Let me just, so let's see, this one, I want to isolate this from the background. So if I select this, is gonna eat up a little bit, so I'm just gonna click and select my mask, and let's see what I can do. I can go to select, modify, expand. Let's try 1 pixel, should be enough. Okay, and going back here, I'm gonna create another mask like so. Alright, beautiful. So this is the first normal for the yellow. So hopefully, I mean, it's not identical, but hopefully it's gonna give us some nice result once applied, and I'm gonna test that later. So now basically let's just first of all, let's save this. I'm gonna go to File, Save As. And I'm gonna save it. I'm gonna save it in the Maya folder, and I'm gonna call this the Incredibles logo. Okay, but this is the normal map, so I'm gonna do underscore normal NRM and save. Alright, yes. Okay, now let's do the same for the other layers real quick. So let's hide this guy, and let's do this with the black. So for the black, once again, I'm gonna create a selection, a big selection like that on top, and on a new layer I'm gonna fill it with white, and I'm gonna go to noise, add noise. Okay, now go to blur. So the black, is doing this this thing here. I've got an idea, so let's see how it turns out. So for this, I'm gonna go to again, filter, blur, motion blur, and this time we're gonna set this to 0 to get horizontal blur like that. Now filter, X normal, hide to normals, and continue. Okay, and then again filter, once again blur, motion blur to get rid of that noise in there. Control click on my actually, before I do this, what I'm gonna do here, I'm going to do, I'm gonna write, let's see, I'm gonna select my layer by control click, and now transform selection, and I'm gonna do a warp, and with warp selected, maybe I can just whoops, I don't want, I want to free transfer like that, and again warp. Alright, so I'm just gonna warp, I'm gonna basically distort my my layer a little bit, something like this maybe. I'm not really sure. Click OK. So I got this kind of like rounded pattern going on here, and now I'm gonna control click on the layer below and create a mask like this. And now for this guy, just gonna duplicate it just to have it there. I'm gonna set this to white. I'm gonna make another layer, fill it with black, and merge these two guys, and then filter, blur, Gaussian blur, set 1, and now again filter, X normal, height to normals, and continue. So now once again I'm gonna select this this layer here, and I'm gonna go to overlay, and then control click again on my original logo, and select, modify, expand 1 pixel, and let's select this layer and create a mask. So nicely, so if I enable my 2 layers here, that's what I'm at. So I'm gonna save this, and hopefully this is gonna look good as well. Now for the orange, the orange seems to go in 2 different directions. This one goes to this direction, this one goes to this direction. So I'm gonna split the orange layer. Let me just bring these 2 guys on top here. I can actually select this and make a group, so like that. So the orange layer is going in 2 different directions, so I'm gonna select this part, and with Control Shift J will cut the selection and paste it into a new layer. So let's do the same that I did before. So let's start from this one, duplicate it. Actually no, don't need to duplicate it yet. Just gonna do a selection like this, new layer, and fill it with white, noise, add noise. Okay, now filter, blur, motion blur, like so, and I'm gonna do this, I don't know, 45 degrees. Let's see. Okay, don't need to see you. Well, it's not quite there. Let's see. Motion blur. It's a little bit towards like this. Let's do like 60 degrees or something. Okay. And filter, X normal, height to normals, continue, and once again filter, blur, and motion blur. Okay, now select this guy and create a mask. Alright, and now let's duplicate this guy, create new layer, fill this new layer with black, and this Control U and set it white, merge, filter, blur, Gaussian blur 1. Okay, and now go back, filter, X normal, height to normals, and continue. Now go back here and overlay. Okay, now once again control click this layer and select, modify, expand, and okay, go back here and create a mask. Okay, and this is done. Don't need to see you again. Save. There you go. These are all the layers so far. So let's do the same with this guy. So let's create another selection here. New layer. Fill this guy with white. Filter, noise, add noise. Alright. and this guy is going in the opposite direction, so blur, motion blur, and it's gonna be -60, like so. X normal, height to normals, and then again filter, blur, motion blur. Alright, control click and mask. Alright, now this guy, duplicate it, new layer, fill this new layer with black, turn this into white, and filter, blur, Gaussian blur, okay, filter, X normal, continue, and put this guy on overlay. And now once again select this guy and go to select, modify, expand 1 pixel and mask. So very fast. So let's hide this. This is where at. So we only need to do the let's save. We only need to do the white. So that should be pretty easy. Again, select this, create new layer, fill it with white, filter, noise, add noise, okay, and the white is horizontal, so we're gonna go to filter, blur, motion blur, and set it to 0, okay, filter, X normal, continue, and then again another pass of motion blur, okay, and select and mask, and then do the same here, duplicate this guy and create here a new layer, fill it with black. This guy is already white, so just merge these two guys, filter, blur, Gaussian blur, okay, filter, X normal, height to normal, continue. This one, put it on overlay, select here, select, modify, expand 1 pixel and mask. Okay, and these, let's bring this in here, okay, and this is our logo. I'm also gonna create a new layer in here. This layer is gonna be a neutral flat normal value, so it's gonna be 128, 255, and I'm gonna fill this like so and grab it and bring it here so it's on the bottom, and this is done. Okay, so we need to let's try our logo. So I'm gonna quickly set up a very simple test scene in Maya, so we can try and see if what we have done works fine or we need to adjust it. Okay, see you back in Maya. Alright, we are in Maya, and I made a simple scene. I made a plane, a very simple plane, and I've set it up the rendering for Octane Render for Maya. So I've got a Octane Sun and Sky, which was from here, that has a very simple Studio HDR, and let's check it out. So if I click on IPR, this is the current setup. If I move around, actually let me fix that. and I'm gonna move this guy up here so we can see them both. So at the moment my my plane, it has like a black material, reflective, nothing special, and my Studio HDR has only a couple of big lights like these white lights, plus something on the top there, like a softer panel. If you're curious, I found this HDR for free online. I believe they were made by someone on DeviantArt. If you search for free Studio HDR, you will probably find it right away in Google. There are many of these, very simple, but they're quite useful for testing purposes. So as you can see, it's reflective. It's reflecting my light there a little bit. It's not super reflective, but we'll change that. So let's assign the texture that we just created to our plane. So in the material property, I'm gonna go and actually I think I forgot to create one texture, which is the alpha, the transparency texture for our logo. So let's do that real quick. So if we go back to Photoshop, let me duplicate this guy. Alright, and I don't need to see this. Let me bring back the original logo, and for this one, actually let's save this as a PSD as well. I'm gonna create a new layer and I'm gonna fill it with black, and this one is gonna be the incredible, this is the albedo, so albedo. And also I'm gonna make let me get rid of these guys. I'm gonna make this completely white like so, and I'm gonna also copy this in the alpha. So this guy is gonna be my transparency, my alpha. So I'm gonna call ALP as alpha. Alright, I think now we're ready. Go back to Maya. Alright, so for a diffuse, I'm gonna click, and I'm going to add, by the way, I will go a much more in-depth video on how to use Octane Render for Maya when I do the actual render of Mr. Incredible. So if I'm not gonna be too specific on how I created this scene, don't worry about it. I will cover that in the very next video. So let's go down here, Octane image texture, and it's in Maya. So I want the albedo texture, which is there, and it seems like the UVs are not correct, so let's go and fix that. I'm gonna bring my UV panel here. I really don't like this new UV editor from Maya, but whatever. I need to get used to it. So I'm gonna click on normalize and close, and then refresh my IPR. Okay, so this is my logo applied there, and now I'm gonna go into my opacity, and I'm gonna add again my alpha, open, and as you can see now, the logo is transparent, is cutting out pretty nicely there. And in the normal map, again, image texture, and I'm gonna bring in my normal map like so, and it's looking pretty good. Now let's see if I can let's zoom in a little bit. It's not too bad. Now obviously so one thing I can do, let me get rid of this. I can make this a little bit more metallic. So in order to do that, I'm gonna bring, let's see, I can reduce the power here to very low, something like 0.1, and I can go back to my specular and I can add the same image. Actually, what I'm gonna do is copy this path, and I'm gonna go into specular, and I'm gonna copy the same image in the specular, and then I'm gonna bring the index to 1. And this is probably too metallic, way too much. So let's see. Also, let's increase this guy to make it a little bit less metallic. So I've lost the black, it seems. Right, yes, because obviously so what I can do, what I can do here, let me see, let me break this connection, and I'm going to add a octane float, set it back to maybe 0.1. So the thing is that I do like I like the black, but I don't like, you know what, let's create a custom texture for the specular. So go back into Photoshop and duplicate my image again, and what I'm gonna do, I'm going to basically I'm going to create something like this. I'm gonna convert this black to white and create a black background, something like this, and this is gonna be my specular. So I'm gonna SPC just to, and let's go back to Maya, and let's assign this texture here. So break connection and image texture, and let's select my specular texture, and now I can dim it down in here. So let's see, let's go back to something like 1.5, and maybe I can reduce the intensity here, 0.5. Let's see, let's go back to our reference. This is a bit too strong, so what I'm gonna do, I'm going to let's see, let me it seems that the other specularity is too weak. So at this point, actually, it's just a matter of tweaking the specular, and so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pause the recording, and I'm gonna do some tweaks, and then I'm gonna resume it, and I'm gonna explain what I did, because I'm not sure how interesting would be to see me just do some trial and error. So I'll see you in a bit, and let's see how it goes. Okay, I'm back. So this is what I've got about after about 10 minutes or so. So I think the result is pretty good. If we compare it with our sample in Photoshop, as you can see, it's fairly similar. It's not, obviously it's not identical, as also the light I'm using, it's not obviously gonna be the same light that this scene has, but the effect of that, these like streaks that reflect the lights, kind of like stitches, or a logo made by a machine, it's kind of there, so pretty happy with it. And what I did basically, if you go here, this is the specular map. If we compare it with the original logo, as you can see, basically I've made the yellow a little bit more orange, and the black, it's a dark gray. It might look the same, but actually this is lighter. It's lighter gray compared to the black of the area here, and the white circle here, it's gray. And also I increased a little bit the saturation of the orange. I just set it to max saturations, and this is my specular texture. So that's the result. Looks pretty similar. So now that this is ready, we only need to bring this on our character, and I'm gonna do that in ZBrush. So before exporting this guy into ZBrush, I want to do one thing. So first of all, let me stop the render. Okay, so this is our logo. Let's see if we can display it. No, it seems that for some reason the texture are not displayed. Okay, well, it's there. I know that it's there. So that the reason why it's not displayed might be due to my Octane Render plugin might be not updated as the very latest version, but I'll check that later. So I can see the preview here. So what I want to do now, I want to subdivide this plane and export it in ZBrush. So let's do that. I'm going to go here to my modeling tools, select these two edges and click connect, and I'm going to create a bunch of subdivisions, something like this, 19, 20. All right, 20 subdivision. Click enter, and also connect. Let's try to keep this square. Let's do 14. All right, something like that. And the reason why I did this is because I'm going to project this plane on our character's chest, and I want the mesh to fit as best as possible. So so now let's move. I'm gonna export this, export selection, and I'm gonna call this logo plane. All right, and now let's move to ZBrush and apply this to our character. Okay, we're back in ZBrush, and if you notice, I've loaded up a older version of the character. It's the one that was not yet posed, and the reason is because I'm gonna show you how we're gonna apply the logo on this guy, and then we are going to transfer the pose to match the character with our pose. So let's import the plane, and it's in Maya. It's called logo plane. Here it is. Oops, I actually made a mistake. I had first to append something, and now I can import it. Logo plane. Alright. It's very big. It's massive compared to our character. There it is. Yeah, the scale is massive. So let's go to scale. This is ZBrush 4R8 new gizmo tool. I will get into more detail about this when I do my new feature video. For now, I'm just gonna use it basically. So now I'm scaling down our logo and bring it here, and scale it down a little bit more and bring it up here, around here. Let's put a texture on it. So let's go to texture, import, and we are gonna go into my logo albedo. I'm gonna select the logo, flip the V because that's how ZBrush work, and go to texture map and assign it there. So that's where the logo is supposed to be. And let me rotate it slightly. So for the size of this guy, let me bring back my old reference, and let's roughly, obviously this is not posed, but let's roughly put the character okay, so the logo is definitely gonna be smaller. So let me first scale the face a little bit to get a decent match, and then let's see, the logo seems much more rotated and seems to be squashed down for some reason, but I'm not gonna do that. Let's place it, should be about there. Okay, I'm gonna place it about there, and let's make sure that we are this is supposed to be the middle, so let me just check. Let's click on all low, and okay, that seems to be the middle. And alright, so I've got my logo there. I'm gonna uncheck everything except this guy here. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm going to click on all high, and I'm going to project my logo, maybe slightly rotate it here. And I'm gonna go to project and project all. No, okay, that's not clearly not enough. Let's increase distance 0.1. Okay, so the logo is there, and let's bring it up a little bit, like so, just a little bit. And so now that the logo is in place, let me just check. Okay, looks fine. I can actually, let me go to geometry, and I'm gonna go to crease and add a few subdivision to this guy, and again project all, just to have it right when it's supposed to be, like so. Okay. All right. Now, maybe there. Now we're gonna take this guy and we're gonna export it back. So let's go to, oops, I don't need this guy here. And let's export it back, and this is going to be called logo plane logo plane projected. Okay, and now I'm going to show you how we're going to adapt our logo to the post version of our character. So let's go back in Maya, and I'm gonna show you that. Alright, back in Maya, and if you remember, this is the scene that I used to pose the character. So in that scene, this pose was part of an animation, a very simple linear animation. So now if I just bring this guy back to the default pose, to frame 1, and I'm going to import the logo plane projected. Okay, there it is. So now basically what I'm gonna do, I'm simply going to click on the root and click on the plane. I'm gonna go back to my rigging, skin, bind skin. I'm gonna show that I've got the default settings, bind skin, and now I'm gonna select the body and shift click, no, I'm sorry, body, control click the plane. I'm gonna go to skin and copy skin weights. In this will basically transfer the same skin weights from the body to the logo. And so now when I scroll back, as you can see, the character is back to its pose, and the logo, it's also deforming perfectly on his body. So that's exactly what we want. So let's now select this logo, file, export selection, and that's called this guy pose. Okay, and back to ZBrush. Okay, this is the scene with the character in the pose. So now what we need to do is simply append an object and import our logo plane pose. There it is. And I did some modeling tweaks on this character here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm simply going to reproject once again. Oops, I meant this guy. Okay, so I'm simply going to reproject the logo here. So project all. All right, and let's move it back to about there, something like this. That should be okay. So we got the same distortion, and if we now bring back our texture, so texture map, there it is, that's the logo, and it's distorted accordingly with the character pose, and we're all happy. And now basically that's it. If I click on transparency, what ZBrush is gonna do is basically treating the black as in alpha. So obviously in the middle, since it's black, it also becomes transparent, but not a big deal. So there you have it. So we can just bring back everything else. And so I forgot to mention this. The reason why there's this star object at the top, it's because when you save the file, ZBrush renames the first subtool that he finds with the name of the file. So I don't want the body to be called Mr. Incredible Z4R8, which is the name of my new file here. So I just basically appended this object, which is kind of a null object, and so basically I don't have to worry about name conventions. Let's see, this was the old one. Let's go back, and everything else should be fine. So that's the guy, and now basically the next video we can finally set up the character for the render. And let me give you a preview here, put the character here and BPR just to see a little bit better. So in the next video we are going to export this updated version, and we are going to render in Octane Render for Maya, and let's prepare our final image. So once again, if you like what I'm doing, if you like my channel, please hit the subscribe button. There are more videos to come even after this series of Mr. Incredible is done. I have a lot more video planned, so please subscribe, share the videos, and hit some like and comments if you want. And I'll see you in the next video.